Hello everyone, Nubkeks here, and welcome to our viewer replay coaching series. And this is our first ever video on a Team League game. We've got a full 5-man team going up against a full 5-man team here. It's about sort of low platinum, high gold level, he says. So this one should be pretty interesting. The player who submitted this is called Alpha, and he's playing on Illidan in this game. So he's asking me to talk a bit about Illidan and the sort of the nature of Illidan as this very aggressive, all-in character. And I think he used a very interesting set of words, so I'm curious to see how this replay goes, where he says that Illidan is very much a double-edged sword. So we're going to explore that idea in this video. Also worth noting that he said that he's playing with kind of real-life childhood friends, and that a few of them, I think he said Malfurion has played recently, but that some of the other players here haven't played much in a while, so they're a little bit rusty. So yeah, we'll see exactly how things go. And it's also Warhead Junction, the new map, so we're going to be breaking that down as well and seeing how to kind of get the most out of it. We'll be a bit forgiving as well, considering that these are players who haven't played in a bit, and considering that... come over here and we'll zoom this out. Ooh, zoom it out, I mean. We were zoomed out already. We'll be somewhat forgiving in our criticism, and we can take all the criticisms with a grain of salt for these guys if I'm pointing out mistakes when they the mistakes are due to the fact that they just haven't played in a while. Alright, so our Illidan has found a hacker up here. We can see down here the enemy team. We got a couple down here, and alright, so Zagara setting up down here. We presume they're on voice comms and they're sharing some of this information. DPS tatas. Oh my god. And a couple of heroes here. Alright, so Illidan's going to come in and get some damage down on the hacker. Pretty good. Okay, so one thing I'm immediately seeing is that you're not actually using stutter stepping on Illidan. This is going to be incredibly important. Let me just sum up Illidan like this. Illidan is a very difficult hero to play. Mechanically, he's not extremely difficult. All of his abilities are pretty easy to use. I mean, you've got a big wide dash. Does damage nice and easy. You try to hit heroes with it if you can, or well, anything with it. Then you've got a long point and click dive, and this is point and click, very long range, especially if you pick the right talent, so that's very easy to use. Then you have evasion. You press the button and boom, you don't get hit by basic attack for 2.5 seconds. And then his trait is just passive, but we'll talk about that because that's, I suppose, where the difficulty comes in. But all of these abilities are really easy to use. Much easier than other assassins that have got difficult skill shots and things like that. The difficulty with Illidan comes into the fact that basically, Betrayer's Thirst, how this works, basic attacks heal you for 30% of the damage dealt, so it's important to be landing basic attacks. More importantly, they reduce your ability cooldowns by a second. So this is essentially how Illidan works, and I've seen a lot of people saying that Illidan is bad. He's not, he's really good. He is super mobile. When he's played right, he's very mobile, he's very tanky, and although his damage is usually very low, he basically gets that damage guaranteed and consistently down onto the enemy backline, which a lot of heroes aren't able to do. So let's say, for example, Raynor up here, he's going to have much higher damage than Illidan will in a proper game, like where teams play out. I don't know exactly how this one's going to play out, right? But in games where the team fights play out as you would expect, Raynor's going to walk away with much more damage than Illidan will. Vala's going to do a lot more damage than Illidan. However, a lot of their damage will go into the warriors, will go into the front line, whereas Illidan, because he's like diving around and sweeping, striking around, and he's going all over the place, he gets that damage down onto the backline here. It's like he can just jump in, he can get all this damage down on the Rhaegar, or the Zagara, or the Raynor. He can get on top of any of them, stick on any of them, and he'd be a massive pain for them to deal with. He's also very tanky. He doesn't appear to be tanky, and if you play with bad Illidans, he'll be extremely squishy, but good Illidans will be very tanky. Anyway, there's two aspects of playing Illidan that are really difficult. You're already doing one wrong. We'll see how the other one goes. But the one that you're doing wrong is stutter stepping. It's going to be very important. So basically, you hit them with a basic attack, then you put in a movement command, then you put an attack command as well. So on a very simple level, it would be like I right-click him, then I right-click the ground, walk forward a bit, right-click him to hit him, then right-click the ground, walk forward a bit, right-click to hit him, walk forward. Okay, so that's basically what you do. It's much simpler usually to use attack moves instead of that. So it'd be like attack move near him. When you hit him, then normal move, attack move, normal move, and you can kind of keep yourself moving in that direction. Obviously, the downside of using attack move, and this works for ranged heroes as well, attack move won't always hit the target that you would want it to. However, it's much easier to do and much quicker to do. The problem with right-clicking is that you might miss the hero. And for example, let's say let's say you were here and the whole enemy team is here and you're trying to get this last hit on this Dahaka running away. If you right click and the Dahaka like burrows or something and you just walk over him, you could walk into the enemy team and get yourself killed, something like that. So generally speaking, you're going to be using attack moves. But it's very important to, I have a video up on stutter stepping as well if you want to check out that in more detail. But it's going to be very important on Illidan because your basic attacks are so crucial to what you're doing. You can see here that you're hitting him, Dahaka runs away, and then your character starts running after the Dahaka and then hits him again. And that's, you're missing out on that. The other aspect of how it's difficult to play Illidan, we'll talk about this, is managing your aggression, knowing when you can go in and go hard, and yeah, just knowing that you can go in, get a few basic attacks in, reset your stuff, and dive back out, something like that. It's very difficult. Alright, there you go. So you've just been ganked, and you're gonna die. Okay, that's unfortunate. I'd say that's pretty... You'll do better next time, says the adjutant. That's hilarious. But yeah, I think that's pretty expected, honestly. That's pretty expected. You found the Dahaka out of position, sure, and you went after him. But your teammates were all in the mid lane. And you had one teammate and one enemy down the bottom lanes. And that's fine. They're kind of out of this equation. They're not going to be taking part in this. The map's too big. But there was you. You found the Dahaka. Then you had 3 of your teammates in mid lane and 2 enemies here. There was still 1 enemy missing. And it's Zeratul, which is pretty scary. You don't know where he is. Your teammates didn't come up to you. I don't think these guys moved, but you got caught out 2v1 and you got killed. You can't go that aggressive when you don't have vision. And bear in mind, they have this vision point as well, so they can see everything. They can see it all. So they know that they can fight this basically with no fear, because they know where everyone is and they're going to see them coming. But yeah, just certainly at the start of the game, and at any point in the game, you need to be very much aware of where the enemies are going to be. But yeah, I mean, if your teammates had come up immediately, which they probably should have done, especially considering it's Team League, like, okay, cool, I found a Dahaka out of position. Boom, you guys all start coming up here and you fight. Yeah, but it's going to be difficult because they've got the vision point, so be careful about that. Alright, so you're joining up with Sonya. I know he said in his email that the Sonya player hadn't played in a long time, so he's going to be helping out the Sonya a lot. But generally speaking, that's very weak, and maybe you should look into even giving this player a different hero. Because Sonya... typically speaking, is gonna, or ought to be, your solo lane hero. She's gonna be someone you leave alone to just lane. You don't want to be going with her. So you're gonna come in here and grab this. Zeratul is there. This is once again pretty expected. And you can see the enemy team is collapsing on you. Very difficult to control this vision point on your own. You kind of need your teammates to come with you. See, Sonya was making her way down, but she wasn't there quite on time. Looks like ETC is just going at this. Where's the Zagara? She's there somewhere, I think. Anyway, more aggression going on in here. I will say, if we pause it for a second, I will say that as we go into this game, you should, like, kick Zeratul's ass. It's one of the big problems. Illidan is one of, for Zeratul here, and for the whole enemy team, is that Illidan is very powerful, 1v1 hero, and Illidan excels against basic attack heroes. So, I mean, just looking at what the enemy team has, you have basically picked Illidan into the perfect composition to counter. You've got so many answers to what they can do. Raynor is all about basic attacking. He's very immobile, and you're just going to be able to get on top of him and beat the crap out of him. You're going to be popping evasion constantly. There's a level 7 talent, which I presume you're going to pick, which is for block. For Illidan, which is going to neutralize so much of Raynor's damage, and you're going to be able to just bully the crap out of this guy. Dahaka is extremely immobile as a warrior. His tongue is hard to hit, and it's basically impossible to hit on an Illidan. I think the only way you really die is if Dahaka lands his isolation heroic or his tongue on you, and it's going to be extremely difficult for him to land those in an Illidan, so you should just be running away with this game. But yeah, you can bully these guys. You can also bully Zagara. Again, evasion will neutralize most of her damage, and you can get on top of her and get the damage going. Very difficult for her to hit you with her banelings. I mean, like Raynor's knockback, if he hits you with that, you just dive back on top of him, and you're back on top of him, and he's just taking all this damage. And then Rhaegar, again, he also has this Ghost Wolf that his wolf form bite, the feral lunge, that's also basic attack, which your block talent will neutralize. So you're going to be able to bully these guys like there's no tomorrow. And then you're going to have your teammates who've got a pretty solid team comp kind of pushing in on top of them as well. They've got a very bad composition, and you've got a pretty good one. That being said, Zeratul is good on this map. We'll just pause it one more time. And they have a couple of globals. They have a global just built in here. You could get a global with ETC, and you could get a semi-global with the Hunt as well. But Dahaka's got a global, and Zagara might go for her Nidus network as well, so we'll see. Anyway, tributes have activated. Getting some damage down. I saw you used your sweeping strike the wrong way. So it's very important to sweeping strike and to use sweeping strike. Look at this, like you can just dive them and go and go and go and go. And Vala is there as well, just doing damage constantly. So it's very important with Illidan. So that's a nice fight, and that's kind of how I'd expect these fights to go. Sonya and Dahaka are just duking it out. I expect Sonya probably wins that duel eventually. And you guys are pushing down these towers. Got a minion wave pushing down bottom at the same time. Oh, nice work by your team. Lovely roots. Lovely stun from ETC. 2 kills picked off. Excellent. Alright, nice. This is going very well for you guys so far. But, I mean, good work right here. Really exploiting the weaknesses of the enemy's composition. Like, when you're here in strength, it's really hard for Zeratul to actually do anything. He excels at finishing off kills. And Rainer's very weak early in the game. So, there's very little they can do. You're not scared of a Dahaka gank because it's Dahaka. You can just walk away. I mean, Zagara needs to be up there kind of countering a push like that. But you guys got a ton of value. That's really good to see. We've moved up here. And you could be going kind of aggressive here. Because we know it's probably only 2 of the enemy team members. The rest were in mid lane. So you could have dived in a bit harder there and got some extra value. But it's not the end of the world. Okay, you should really dodge those. It's kind of important to dodge for skill shots. Now Zeratul has arrived and he's going to throw some damage down. Sonya's in a little bit of trouble. But she's going to be fine. That's okay. So you're playing this fine. Maybe you could be a bit better. You also have a nuke. Actually, I'm pretty sure that you got this nuke down here. Who else was there? Sonya. Okay, Sonya has one as well. I think Sonya got the top one. And then I think you got this one. I don't know why you didn't use it on this fort, because you were right here. And there weren't any enemy heroes here really that could stop you. So you should really have used that nuke, because you have it ready. You should have dropped the nuke on the fort. And this is very important as well, is that the center of the nuke, at least in the current iteration of this map, might change later on, I don't know. But it does double damage in the center. So you want to try aim the center on the forts. And about 2 nukes then will finish off the fort, just about, or a keep. And 3 of them kill a core, which is kind of crazy. But, yeah. Alright, nice. So Zeratul's Zeratul's giving you a bit of trouble. Okay, nice aggression onto the Zeratul. So you can kind of get in here and start bullying people. We've hit level 7 as well. This is kind of important. We'll see exactly how you pick up. But yeah, immolation, friend or foe, fairly standard then. You got the wrong one. Ah, no, you took the wrong one. You took the wrong one. That's not the right one. You picked up Thirsting Blade. So your basic healing from basic attack increased to 50%. While sweeping strikes, damage bonus is active. That's a pretty bad talent, man. Did they change that? Was it always that bad? That's crazy. I thought that he had a talent that was... Yeah, that's nuts. I thought that the other option here, they must have changed it, was that it increased the healing to 50% of your damage done. And it was your abilities as well would heal you, or that your abilities would give you some healing. Maybe there's a couple of options of that tier, I don't know. But there's also reflexive block, and that's the one you really want to be taking, which is whenever you dive, it will give you 2 stacks of block and 75% block as well, which is the good block, and that's insanely good. I mean, just look at the enemy team. I've already mentioned this, but Rainer, he hits really hard, right? Rainer hits really hard. He's got he's got focused attack, he's got seasoned marksman. Block is going to neutralize it, and you're going to have dive up very, very frequently. You're going to neutralize so much of his damage. You're going to like half the damage output he can give to you. There's something like that, probably, which is immense. It's so important. Zeratul's actually gone seasoned marksman. Master Warblade, alright, he's going full basic attack. He's probably going to get follow through here at 7 as well. So that's another large basic attacking damage output there. And then their block would protect you from all of that. Zagara will do some basic attacks. The Feral Lunge from Rhaegar. So you should really have picked up the block. It would have protected you from so much. And you've got a Malfurion who can heal you up anyway. So you don't need to worry about that too much. So that's a big mistake. Alright, well, we'll talk about all the talents. We'll go over everyone else's talents at the end. We're going to focus on just Illidan for the course of this. Use your evasion to dodge that. That's not too bad. This is a good nuke. So, you didn't... it took you a while to use the nuke, but you did eventually drop it on the fort. That's good. Enemy team is getting an aggressive push up here. This is the power of Zagara. She's going to outlane you guys. So you really want to be rotating. Probably Vala to deal with Zagara. And they'll probably want to rotate then Zagara to deal with Vala. And you kind of be countering each other out. Is that range push. We can see they've got a good push going here. One of your teammates dropped the other nuke, it looks like. No, you just took it out anyway. Sonya still has a nuke. That's good. You're up here. He just died. But realistically, yeah, you're gonna just die because Illidan's just not very good at defending on his own. it's like he can be good at defending, but once you're fighting a very difficult defense, something like against the Zagara plus the Dahaka backing her up, very difficult for you to get on the Zagara, because if you're focused on the Zagara in this situation, in a 2v1 situation, then it becomes easy for Dahaka to land his CC on you, and you're going to be punished for it, basically. It's going to be very difficult for you to actually hold off the Zagara push, and yeah, as you can see, you need your teammates to rotate around. Oh my god. This nuke, no! Why would you nuke the tower? I mean, look, the tower is going to die from the edge of the nuke anyway. I think... Alright, so against like a full... Is there a full thing? Like against the full one down here, you probably want to aim the nuke about here. So you hit the tower, the fort, the heating fountain, the 2 towers, and the gate. You just hit everything. And that's going to maximize your damage overall. And also maximize the XP you're going to get. That's pretty valuable. Once the gates are down, you definitely want to land it like you did on top of the fort, just to do maximum fort damage. By the time you get up to keeps and stuff, you really want to be just land it on the keeps, because killing the keep is priority number 1. Because, well, keeps open up the core, and then you'll also start spawning catapults, or, well, cyclones, I think they're called, in this version, when you get that Zertils here. Alright, you found him, pretty nice. And you're just diving on top of them. Okay, he actually picked up Void Slash. So there's terrible talent. We'll talk about all the talents at the end. There's pretty bad talent choices coming out from everyone in this game. But, I mean, this is what I was talking about. You can see that there's really nothing that Zeratul can do against you. You're going to out-duel him over and over again. I like this as well, that you're going aggressive. Nice, there you go. Your teammates have rotated down as well. You could also dash out to one of the minions and escape. That's pretty nice, right? That's the Illidan aggression. It's one of the things that's very important to note. Oops, that's a big miss. Very important to note about Illidan is that because you're getting this cooldown reduction, it's oftentimes better to just like go ham and just keep attacking someone, getting your cooldowns off of cooldown and then using them to escape than running away. Bad Illidans, you'll see they'll like go in and then just be running around. If you're just running as Illidan and you're not basic attacking, then you're playing a bad Illidan. It's going to be identifying the points where you can go in hard and making use of that. So you've also picked up the hunt. That's pretty cool. I was going to say it was on cooldown. You've used it right there. That's a bit of a waste of the hunt to use it on that. Not a big fan of that one, but we'll deal with it. The Haka lands his tongue, but your teammates have arrived, so very nice. Now you can go really hard in this fight. You can, you got your dive ready. There you go. Oh my god, you're nuking a tower. Are you kidding me? Oh no. No! This tower's gonna be dead. Let's zoom in for this. This tower's gonna be dead before this lands. Yeah, the tower's dead before the nuke even lands. That's awful. I think that was the Sonya, who hasn't played in a while, so that's fair enough. But don't nuke a tower, man. That's awful. I've already told you how to use nukes. That's all that needs to be said. But yeah, you can see, you can go really aggressive there. Fortunately, you didn't get the kill. But that's pretty much exactly how you ideally want to be playing Illidan. The thing with Illidan, obviously, is that people kind of know how to counter him. It's just, I don't know how you managed to do this, or they did a bad draft. I guess it's just because, probably seems to me more like gold level play, I guess. But yeah, they really did not counterpick the Illidan. Zagara that's a badly placed nuke as well. Should be over here to hit everything. She's only going to hit the front gate. She's not going to hit all of this. It's a mistake from her. 5 of you pushing in here. This guy's way out of position, so you can just go in and kill him. Dash through him. Very nice. You can flip over him as well. Basically just want to stay in position, and there you go. You baited out the Ancestral and the Void Prison for that. Vala did die, but Zeratul dies too. And then the Hyperion has actually come out as well. This is great. The minions pick him up. That's an excellent hunt right there. ETC has come in as well. Getting some good damage down here too. Very nice. And yeah. But you can see your movements in the teamfight could be a little bit slicker. Basically, I think it's the mark of a really good Illidan is when you're able to stutter step. Because what you're doing is that you're relying on a bit of a crutch, which is you're relying on your abilities to make up for the fact that you're slowly falling behind your enemy heroes because you're not stutter stepping. And it is a crutch. You are putting yourself at a disadvantage. And when you move up to be playing Illidan at higher levels and you need those ability and that movement to do other things, you're not going to be able to have that to make up for the fact that you're not stutter stepping, and you're going to be punished for it. This is a good boss take. I think you guys have the advantage. If they try to fight you, you can just kill them. That's a pretty good hunt right there. Nice body blocking as well. And then you can just focus down the Zeratul. Okay, you can't hit him anymore, so you need to start hitting Zagara. Kind of messed that up. This is a little bit risky because your teammates have backed off. They're back onto the boss. Alright, you're backing off. I like it. I have to say, your Illidan play is pretty good overall, though. Stutter stepping is dodgy, but the rest of it's pretty good. But look at this. Okay, like, you see right there? You're right in the middle of 3 enemy heroes. Your abilities were off cooldown, and you're just stuck, right? Because you weren't following them with your basic attacks. You weren't planning ahead. And that's one of the things that's very important with Illidan, is to plan ahead of like, okay, when is my stuff coming off cooldown? All right, cool, I'm going to basic attack them. Then I can flip over here. I could do this and that and that. You were right there. You were in the middle of 3 low health heroes. You could have beat the crap out of them. But because you weren't stutter stepping properly, you were stuck in the middle. You didn't have any abilities to make up for the fact that you weren't stutter stepping. So you couldn't get on top of them. And then you're just stranded there, not able to actually do any damage to all these low health heroes. Again, I think you could have kept diving right there. I really don't think that the enemy team has anything to counter you. Well, it depends. Like, normally that they won't have such a team that's so weak against Illidan, so you'll be punished more for what you're doing. Now, level 13 resistance is probably the thing to go for. Okay, yeah, you picked it up. That's good. Alright, we're going to come up here and gank the Haka. Got a big minion wave down here someone needs to deal with. And the boss is kind of doing its thing. So this is a dead Dahaka. This is pretty good. I'd say at this point you should probably take this boss. Looks like you're doing that. Are we? Okay, nukes are actually spawning, so I'd say just go back for the nukes. Especially want to try to get this one. Okay, you're going on the boss. I think this is a mistake. I don't think the bosses do that much. I think the nukes do more. I think you're better off getting the nuke than getting the boss. But it looks like you're doing it pretty quickly. Or one thing you could do is send one hero down to grab the nuke. I suppose actually the enemies are so dedicated down here you don't need to. And this is actually working out pretty well. Okay. Zeratul has arrived, but Zeratul is gonna die. Never mind, you baited out the VP. Well, that's a 120 second cooldown, isn't it? No, 100 seconds, my bad. 100 second cooldown, it's gone. The nuke is gone though, so Zeratul did get it. I think you should have been paying more attention and you should have come on top of him and killed him. But yeah, it's pretty bad to lose that nuke. You should definitely have got that one. There's 4 of you up here and there's 1 enemy hero. There's pretty much no reason not to get it. Luckily Vala did get the bottom one and that's good. Hopefully she doesn't use it on this. Some sort of slow reactions from the Vala there. Could have just turned around and shot him immediately. Oh, it's the Haka that stole it, I see. I didn't even notice. It's pretty bad, right? So that kind of sucks. You can see there's a whole ton of structural damage now on your fort up there because you didn't get the nuke that you should have got. And while the boss is good, it's not necessarily amazing. I just don't think so. We'll find out though, as the meta of this map develops. Alright, so we're pushing in here. This is a good nuke. Well aimed. It's going to do a lot of damage. And you don't even need to attack the fountain. It's going to die. The keep is almost dead. There goes the keep. This might even be game right here. It's a good mosh pit. Oh, excellent rain of vengeance to follow up. You're in the back. There goes the Gara. Oh, the hunt is up as well. And this Rainer should maybe just barely dies. Very nice. There you go. We're on the core with the boss. That's going to be game right there. So well played. Overall. Blades of Azeroth. Interesting. Alright, cool. Who do you predict is going to be MVP? I'm not sure who the MVP is going to be. Maybe you. Maybe Malfurion. I would guess. I don't know. It's really hard to say who's MVP. Let's find out. Guys, place your bets now. Say Illidan normally doesn't appear as MVP because his stats are going to be lower. ETC. 0 deaths. Took most damage and XP contribution. Fair enough. Alright, there we go. Cool. Let's rewind this a little bit and let's check out the talents. Lots of votes coming down, so well played, ETC. Did play good ETC. There we go. Let's check out the damage numbers. Alright, so you actually did a ton of damage as Illidan. Like I said at the start, this is not expected. You would expect the Vala to do substantially more damage than Illidan does. Illidan's strength, as you saw, is that he just gets on top of the back line. It's very hard to escape him. And he brings a lot of tankiness. I mean, between evasion, between block, between your resistance over here, that's a lot of damage reduction. Plus the fact that you're healing yourself as well. And then the fact that you're super mobile. So it's very hard for many heroes to actually get consistent damage down on you. That makes Illidan very, very tanky, very difficult to deal with. It's also why like the Illidan Abathur combo is considered particularly strong. It's because Illidan is getting all this low but consistent damage on the back line, and he brings Abathur's hat right into the middle of the enemy back line. So he delivers basically the Abathur damage directly onto the enemy's backline, which is why that's considered pretty good. And the shielding from Abathur also helps Illidan go even more ham. But yeah, Illidan's weaknesses are CC, basically. If you can crowd control him, if you ever prevent him from doing his basic attacks, then he's missing out on tons of cooldown reduction. He becomes less mobile, he becomes less tanky, he's doing less damage, and then that lets you kind of kill him. So stuff like Brightwing is really good against Illidan, so the polymorph shuts him down, and then Brightwing is good at healing them up, and she gives block stacks as well, which is pretty useful against him. Sonya is also pretty good. She can stun him, and then her ability damage, because her slam and her whirlwind are ability damage, he can't dodge them with evasion, so you can kind of out pressure the Illidan. Yeah, all sorts of stuff like that. I mean, if you catch him in the Malfurion route, he's gonna have an awful time as well. So all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I thought you played a really good Illidan game overall. I think you played really good. I think the stats show that as well. Obviously now, as you play against better and better players, they will start to punish the Illidan more, and it becomes much more important that you're doing other stuff. Hello. Interrupting the video. God damn it. God damn it. Yes. Yes. Yes, I am. Oh, man. Let's talk about talents, though, because, okay, we're going to look at the talents down here, because we're in the ending thingy. But, yeah, I think bad talent picks in a few different cases. With what hero? I mean, you can see them in a replay, right? Immolation, friend or foe. I think you definitely is a big mistake. This is really not that good. Whereas the block, I've already said it, it would have been super valuable. And ideally you want to be picking Illidan into a sort of situation where the block is going to be effective, because that's where he really excels. I think the hunt is really good, particularly on this map. Really, really nice. And he used it pretty well. I think there's a couple of situations where it was a little bit wasted, but it's okay to use it pretty liberally, because the cooldown is only 60 seconds, and every time you land a basic attack, it reduces that by 1 second. So you get to use this a lot. It's a really good heroic, actually. Nimble Defender, then, is really good. And then Blades of Azeroth, I mean, I don't think he even used it once, so I think that's a bit of a waste, but it's fine. It depends. I'd say against the enemy team, it's actually not bad against the enemy team. It's actually pretty damn good against them. Yeah, it's one of those decisions. Level 16, I think they're all good. You've got one that's like Giant Killer. Obviously don't want to use it in this game because they only have Dahaka, and you're just going to ignore Dahaka because he's Dahaka, so you don't need that one. But if they've got something like a big tanky double warrior composition, you might want to use that. Then you also got one marked for the kill or marked for death or something like that, marked for something, which makes your dive, whenever you dive multiple times on a hero, every dive after the first dive within, I think, the next few seconds, is going to do a whole bunch of bonus damage. So that gives you a nice bit of burst, especially when you're being kited around a lot. And that's a pretty good choice, and consistent choice. That's the one I usually go for. Blades of Azeroth is really good as well, especially against this team, where there's pretty much nothing they can do to stop you actually getting in and just basic attacking them. So you're going to get tons of value out of Blades of Azeroth. So I do like that choice here. Let's take a look at some of your allies' choices as well. So Sonya has gone for Berserker. Poison Spear is awful. That's really bad. And Follow Through is really good. And Follow Through also synergizes with focus attacks, with Warpaint, and Wrath of Berserker. So I mean, this is like the standard Sonya damage build, is the Warpaint, focus attack, Follow Through, Wrath of Berserker. And that's what you do. And they all synergize super well. Every single one makes the other one better. And it's just amazing. It's a really good talent build. Aftershock. A Mystical Spear is the one you go for, which reduces the cooldown of your Q, which is essential, and then it also pulls you. So it guarantees a lot more Q value during the fight, which is quite important. And then level 16, Furious Blow. So you're going for like a W build. I don't think that really makes much sense, because you're going to be kited back from as the Sonya quite a lot. So I think those are kind of weaker choices. I probably would have maybe even picked up the what's it called? I forget what it's called. The one that slows down their attack speed, right? Oh, I've just completely blanked on the name of it, and we can't check the talents in this replay client. Oh my god, I've completely floundered. That's awful. You know the one though, it's like when they hit you with basic attacks, they get their attack speed slow, and then it's got the new thing where you can activate it, and it does just a bigger slow and movement speed slow, attack speed and movement speed slow, and like an area around you. That would have been pretty good at shutting down the basic attack type heroes that the enemy team has. Would have been pretty nice. ETC, I think the Hammer-On, I think that's a big mistake. The Mosh Pit worked pretty well, But definitely on this map, I think Echo Pedal is really good because it is such a big map. It lets you split push a lot. It lets you take down these waves on your own. And we saw that ETC was on his own in the bottom lane quite a lot. So Echo Pedal would have done a lot. I think it also does more damage in team fights. I think Hammer-On is just a bad talent. I think Block Party and Speed Metal are both really good choices. I maybe didn't pick the Block because he's got Block Party, but realistically, Illidan and ETC don't actually synergize that well together. You're rarely going to be near enough to the ETC to actually get the Block Party to activate, so I think you should still have picked up the Block talent. But yeah, I think Hammer-On's just bad. I think Echo Pedal. And then this would have been a good map for Stage Dive because it is so big and you can kind of split push and then Stage Dive in. And the globals are really important to get the nukes and stuff like that. Face Melt. With the Mosh Pit, as we saw, it worked really well. I didn't pick a level 16. Standard Nafala build. Siphoning Arrow. I don't mind this actually. I'd say normally you don't want this. Normally you'd probably go for Tempered by Discipline or Gloom. But I think Gloom is kind of hard to use. So fair enough if you don't want to use it. And I guess this is not bad to just protect from the Zeratul assassination. And a bit more burst healing. You've got the Malf giving you kind of sustained healing. So that's okay. And yeah, apart from that, a really good build. Moonburn, Loon's Grace, Shangling Vines. I'm actually not sure. Maybe Mule on this map is good. But I don't know. I suspect probably Mule. I mean, you'd normally pick up Cleanse, but you don't really have anything worth cleansing because the enemy team don't really have any CC apart from to hack his tongue, and he's probably never going to land that in any significant, meaningful way because it's a really bad pick. So, yeah, I mean, you don't really need the Cleanse. Probably Mule to negate some of the nuke damage, but I don't know exactly. I'm not an expert on Malf or what he's got there. Strangling Vines is fine as well, I guess. Tranquility is pretty good. Life Seed, I don't think Life Seed's any good. I think Shrink Ray would probably be the thing to go for, just to help lock these guys down and neutralize some of the damage. For like if Zeratul dives you, or if someone gets caught out and you're kind of in trouble with the Void Prison, the Shrink Ray would protect you. Alternatively, Ice Block would be pretty good if you want to just protect yourself. And Tranquility still works while you're in Ice Block, so it's a pretty nice combo. And then I think Tenacious Roots is fantastic, and I think that's really going to ruin their day. So nice picks there. And the enemy team, let's just take a quick look. Yeah, I don't know what this is. It's like basic attack. Will I get follow through to go together with these? No, let's get Void Slash. Doesn't make any sense really. Yeah. Invest in this. Yeah. I mean, their talent builds aren't great either. They're okay. They're okay. But I think like follow through is really makes so much sense with what they've got here. But anyway, there you go, guys. That was a short game, a quick game, kind of a stompy game, but it definitely showed the strength of Illidan. It'd be interesting if someone sent us in a game where Illidan was played badly and we kind of compare the two, or like where it kind of went very wrong for you. But yeah, I mean, it showed you that Illidan can be very strong. This is basically the perfect team comp to play him into, and you were really just dominating the whole enemy team because you countered pretty much everything they could do. If you picked the right talent, you would have countered them even more. Yeah, just don't run basic attack heroes, and then a team with no crowd control, realistically, into Illidan, and don't run Solo Warrior to hack it into Illidan. I mean, if they'd had a Muradin instead of the Zeratul or something like that, would have worked out a lot better. Or a Muradin instead of Raynor, maybe. They would have been in a better spot. Not really, actually. Say Muradin instead of probably Zeratul. I don't know. It's a tough situation for them. That's a bit tough. But yeah, anyway, pretty cool game. It was fun to commentate on that one. Hope you guys enjoyed that and learned a little bit. Practice your stutter stepping, dude. You need to practice that. Because once you try to start playing to a higher level and you're playing against better players, you're not going to be able to get away with using your abilities to make up for the fact that you're out of position. Because you're going to start falling behind. And that's where you can improve on Illidan, for sure. Anyway, give it a like, guys, if you liked it. If you learned something, if you enjoyed it. Feel free as well to submit your replays. Could be pretty cool and it's fun as well. This one is on the current patch, which is why I'm covering this one. And yeah, you see we got a cool little replay thing. We can like swap around. We see the hero damage and deaths. You can see the APM. Like your APM is pretty low because you're not stutter stepping. But then everyone in the game's APM is pretty low. Ironically, Sony's got the highest, who hasn't played much. That's funny. Depends. APM, it depends on the heroes. It's not too important. XP total. Healing. You can see your healing is kind of nuts, right? You've healed quite a lot. Carried objective. Ooh. That's cool. Yeah, you see you secured a lot of kills. Anyway, there you go. It's pretty cool. It's pretty useful. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you all next time for another replay. Bye-bye.